Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Hardcore Heroes application process. For those of you that don't know what Hardcore Heroes is, it's the upcoming D&D show that I'm going to be running with the players picked from chat. They're going through an application process and now some additions. This is player number 3 that we're going through out of 16. Hardcore Heroes is going to be a D&D show that is notably difficult for players to survive. That's the hardcore aspect of it. If they hit 0 HP, their character is dead and their players are off the show. We use the second edition base rules, none of these nice fancy soft rules, no more perception score, no more other fun things. It's going to be brutal and lovely, and we're all going to love it. But here we have Well-Dressed Gamer, so why don't you introduce yourself?
Been playing Dungeons and Dragons from a very young age, 6 or 7-ish. My dad ran the kids through a couple sessions, so I always played like a halfling, like chaotic evil, just right git. So let's not do that this time around. I've expanded since those days of just being nothing but mischief. Yeah.
All right. So let's jump right in. Grab a character sheet, whichever one you'd like to use.
Definitely
and
do a PDF on my own, if that's perfectly all right.
Yeah, yep. And then let's get some stats rolled.
All right. Well, I'm just going to shortcut that process a little. I get an amazing cleric. Oh my god.
Do you have pre-built macros that you use, you fancy bastard?
I might have. Like, I haven't played second edition in so long, knowing that I needed to do this like rapid fire. I like looked that shit up and I was just like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna like make this, and then I like practiced making a couple characters ahead of time.
Ah,
so
clever.
I'm not so quick or average strength. I'm not that charismatic. Oh, it's gonna be hard to play. Well, it's not gonna be that hard to play. All right, let's start punching this in. No character sheet. Why are you non-editable?
Oh no. Yeah, you guys have been getting surprisingly good rolls. You had a 17, last guy had a 17 and a 15. Previous guy had 2 15s and a 16. I don't know what's going on here.
I've noticed there's some pretty good ones in there. I was actually thinking like my character is going to be like the first dead duck. But apparently...
You could be the second dead duck.
All right, so 9, 8, 10, 17. Oh, that good old 17. That makes me happy. Oh man, my bonus spells are going to be ridiculous. 3 first level spells as a cleric.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be pretty sweet.
That's going to be heal bot right there. That's 3 cure minor wounds. Nothing else to be had. Wait a minute.
Unless you rolled 1 for HP.
Let me just... yeah. Then I'll have to get a little more clever. 15 charisma to be a druid. Otherwise, I would have animal friends out my yin yang.
Oh my god.
Okay, so another question is, so all of the classes that aren't fighter, mage, cleric, thief are asterisks as optional classes?
Anything that's in the player's handbook is legit.
Just curious.
Yeah. So go ahead and add your rangers and your bards and your paladins and that stuff.
Not that it's going to really matter here on account of, obviously, this being a single class cleric. I mean, I could go with a really, really wise fighter, but I just don't think that's my best option here.
Probably better to put that 17 in a core stat. You'd be a very weak fighter.
Okay. So I'm going to be a priest with my 3 hit points and 130 gold. That's not too shabby.
Oh, that's actually quite good.
That's significantly good. I'm right. Oh, man. So this is going to be... So where am I going to be starting off, just to give me an idea of where this character will be?
I have no idea.
No?
No, we'll figure it out when the shoot's done. If there's some sort of backstory that you would like to be in a certain spot, we can do that.
Okay.
We'll base your starting location off of your character background, or if it doesn't seem to matter that way, I'll just throw you into a random place.
Okay. 0, 0. Filling out weight allowances. If that was automatic, my life would be better.
Yeah, one day.
One day, indeed. Strength 8. Dex 8. Zeros across the board here. Constitution is not going to be changing much. Let's see.
10 con is pretty flat.
Change. The fun times of paperwork. So what the heck am I going to do for background on this guy? Background of a very, very wise, not so shabby in any other way guy. Why was he forced to take up a life of adventuring? That's a question.
That is indeed a good question. Some would say that is the ultimate question.
Is very much responsible for that. So maybe someone in the I slighted a power up or a higher up in the power structure. Seems to make sense. That would be a way to get one booted out of a cozy life in the church.
Definitely could. Where's my notepad?
God, these bonus spells. That's
beautiful.
2 first, 2 second, 1 third. Not that any of past second or past first are going to count for today, but this character would be perfect to sit in the back of a party and just heal the people around him. It'd be a beautiful thing.
It would be a beautiful thing. Sadly, this character will be thrown away and never reused. And don't we just know it that the first character rolled for the actual show is going to be all 7s and 8s except for 1 9 in strength.
No, I was going to say except for like 1 2. I don't know how you rolled the 2, but you ended up with it.
Well, you need at least 1 9 to be something. Still, that'd be a terrible character if it was 9s and lowers. Especially if you're in a party with a guy with 18 something here and a couple of 15s.
Well, feeling just completely emasculated is part of life too.
That's true.
Being like, I'm just gonna watch the pretty girl go to prom and just sit here.
Characters that we can really empathize with.
Yeah. Let's take a look here. Cleric, that amount of money.
You can
get all the good stuff. I get splint mail. I get a shield. Oh, this is gonna be good. Let's take a look here. I'm gonna have AC 17. That'll be nice. I'll even be able to afford a holy symbol.
Ooh. Yeah. Don't forget your holy symbols, guys.
Can I buy not only a Morningstar, but also a Footman's Flail? That way I can deal 2d4 damage to not only small and medium, but also large creatures.
If you have the money, you may buy as you please.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be good. So, was my character given a quest, perhaps, to go complete an unaccomplishable feat for someone of my skill?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Damn, you can't go past... I was about to say, like, I could make this character, like, seriously old, because each time you make your character look older in the HQ, you get one more wisdom. So you can't go past 18 without magic, though, unfortunately. But if I did, and I could, then I could get to 19 and get 4 first-level spells.
Ooh.
It's just like, That's how things
Well, you
get
can
done.
actually get beyond 18 through aging, I believe.
Can you?
I
See, I
am
thought it
not
was
sure, but I
real
think
fast.
so. But that means you're taking strength,
Oh
dex,
yeah,
and con
serious
penalties.
serious penalties on that front. Yeah,
Let me double check, because that is an interesting question.
because I don't know, it might be interesting to play like the wizened maester type from like if you think about the Grand Maester in King's Landing in the Game of
Mm-hmm.
Thrones series.
Pycelle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
playing him being forced out might be interesting.
Mmm. Just the old man who's hobbling down the road. Hmm. Okay. Hmm.
Let's see, what would those negatives look like? It'd be pretty steep.
Yeah, once you hit like 60 in human years, you get penalty of 2 to strength and dex, 1 to
That'd be a
con, and a
-3 total.
plus.
Yeah.
Oh no, those are cumulative. So
Oh
you'd have
yeah,
-3 strength, -2 con, -2 dex, +2 wisdom, +1 int.
-3 strength. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would no longer be able to wear my splint mail, my
nope.
nope. I still can't wear that to be perfectly honest, but
Yeah. Well, it
I'll
wouldn't make
go.
sense for an old man to be hiking down the street in splint mail. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't. Yeah, I can't see
And you have to give
Pycelle
all your
with it.
money back as soon as you're done paying for stuff as a cleric, so
Mm-hmm.
you know I'm spending all that money. Let's see.
Knock yourself out.
I need to pull up a calculator now. Let's see. How much did I start with? 130. Right, so I'm gonna spend 124 gold and 85 copper on my starting equipment.
Wow. Well, that was a fast tally.
Yeah, I might have pre-calculated like the best gear for each class.
You came into this prepared.
Yeah, no,
Oh
I
man.
knew that there was gonna be like a limited amount of time, so I was just like, all right, let's just speed run character creation.
Sweet.
Get right into it. I'll be starting with, to give you an idea of what I have, Splint Mail, Holy Symbol, Morning Star, Medium Shield, a sling with 20 sling bullets,
Mm-hmm.
10 torches, flint and steel, backpack, and I suppose I should buy some rations, which rations are, how do they
Three
work?
gold for a week.
3 gold a week.
Yeah, if you want iron rations, it's 5 gold for a week.
And what's the difference in price? Just
2 gold.
ration. 7 days. You wouldn't have another weight of that right off the top of your head, would you?
There is no listed weights, so I think a week's worth of food probably weighs like. If they're iron rations, they're going to last longer because they're dried out, so they wouldn't weigh as much. They'd probably weigh like 3 pounds, maybe 4 pounds. I think non-iron rations probably weigh closer to like 6 or 7 pounds.
All right, so I will have spent all but 15 copper. Boom.
Wow.
And that is under the few gold that a cleric is allowed to keep at the end of spending their money. So, yeah. Morning Star and Sling. Cool. Saving throws. Should probably fill that in. They're probably going to come up. Hopefully not. But I'm guessing you're going to throw some form of challenge at me.
Uh, some sort form could be combat, could be role playing,
You
could
could
be
just let me like
puzzle.
pass through everything, I could.
Yeah, you could just pass through everything. That would not showcase any of your great skills or talents, though. That'd be so boring.
Oh, right, yes. The showcasing of talent.
Yes.
Let's take a look here. Is this everything that I want? Are we going to be worrying about encumbrance right now?
If you exceed your strength limits, yes.
Okay, we're definitely strength. That's strength 9. It's not doing me any favors today.
Mm-mm.
Let's take a look here at encumbrance. So with the strength of 9, unencumbered is 0 to 35. That's not where I'm sitting. Let's see, my weight is going to be, back to the funnel calculator, 40, 12, 10, 2, 10, 2, 3, 79 pounds. Which is exactly heavy encumbrance, up to 80.
Oh. Heavy encumbrance?
You know,
that's
at work. That's a lot of
1/3 movement rate.
Yeah, it's a lot of armor's heavy, man. Armor ain't gonna carry itself.
And I also believe that there are some combat penalties at that level of encumbrance.
Are there now? That would be news.
I do believe so. If encumbrance reduces your character to half your movement rate, you suffer a -1 penalty to attacks. If you're reduced to 1/3 or less, your attack penalty is -2, and there's an additional AC penalty of +1.
Oh, so my AC goes up, right?
No, AC penalty of 1.
Okay, so let's take a look at what we got here. Is there any way? Torches are heavy. Torches are very heavy. And they cost almost nothing. Yeah. I need to shed way too much weight. Okay, so see, I'm just thinking here, I could shed the shield for 7 GP.
Mm-hmm.
What is the cheapest beast of burden?
I think a mule is like 25 gold. I'm not entirely certain. Let's see.
Donkey, mule, or ass, 8 GP.
Ooh, that's cheap.
That is cheap. I take it I'm not allowed buying a trained cat for 1 silver piece.
You are more than welcome to buy a cat. Trained cat, probably a little more than a silver. Trained cats are notably difficult to come by.
Well, a ram is 4 gold. Can I have a goat?
Yes.
Oh, wait, no. Goat is 1 gold. Awesome. Can I have a pack goat to carry my armor for me when I'm not?
Sure.
Or actually, just carry all my other swag.
You will need some sort of bags for your goat. I believe Tack and Harness has like saddle bags. And you would only need small saddle bags for a goat. So that's another 3 GP.
Okay.
Well, I guess you're putting your armor in it, right?
I actually would probably be keeping my armor on me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'd be keeping my armor and my weapon on me, or my weapons on me. So I would only be carrying 44 pounds of stuff, which puts me in light, which is handy to only be in light. And then my wonderful friendly goat would be carrying my torches, my rations. and what have you.
Yeah, because splint mail is 40 pounds.
Yep.
The shield is... Which type of shield did you get?
It was medium, but I'm selling it in order, or I'm dropping it before
Okay.
I buy it, before to afford said goat.
Okay, so
So
splint mail
sometimes
and weapons and holy symbol are all, and clothing is what you're just going to carry on you?
Yep. Oh yes, clothing. That's going to be 5 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't carry your backpack, you can drop it down to... if you like have your backpack and all your secondary clothes, all your spare clothes on the goat, you can drop it down to, what is, like 2 pounds? 1 pound? 1 pound.
Okay.
If you're wearing light clothes. If you're wearing a big robe, 2 pounds or whatever.
All right. Let's go for the 2 pound robe. Something fancy. No. 7 charisma, not that fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Might need help dressing myself in the morning.
It's not that bad. You're that person that people can't tell if you're a bad dresser or if you're an eccentric dresser. Yeah.
If only they knew. So bad.
Is that... Wait, are those pants stylish or really lame? I'm not sure. Are they a trendsetter or like stuck in the 80s? My wife has a pair of pants like that.
Okay, so how much do saddlebags
3 gold.
weigh?
5 pounds.
Okay, 5 pounds. Excellent. And the goat will be carrying a whole bunch of stuff. All right, so do we want to do... Okay, so what's going to be our AC of goat, Mr. Goat?
Mr. Goat AC. Let's take a look. It's probably not going to be very good. Probably like 10.
Okay. Richmond the Goat.
Sheep. Armor class is 7 or 13. That's bullshit. There's no way a sheep is harder to hit than a person. No.
Hey man, they're nimble.
They are not that nimble.
How many hit points do these suckers get?
2d8.
All right, so cure minus wound for the war goat is
War goat.
How many attacks per turn does this guy get if I coax him into battle? I mean, it's actually like I was looking through the bestiary because as soon as I saw animal friendship was a priest spell, I was like losing my mind at how good it was.
Yeah. Let's see. A sheep, because there's no goat in the monstrous manual, gets 1 attack per round for d4 damage at +1 to hit.
Okay. Oh, priests of specific mythos. That's in the book. Can I be a priest that can use a longbow?
Sure. You would need to be some sort of hunting-esque priest, probably.
Okay.
Unless you can think of another thing to do. Another god that would be down with bows.
That would also be a thing where I might be granted minor access to the animal sphere of spells. I mean, what?
Let's see. Well, a Gepa is the goddess of the hunt. You could run with that.
I was, of course, just joking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. I think that, like, watching me min-max the ever-living crap out of a character is not the purpose of this exercise today.
Well, as you see fit.
Yes, I am the heavily armored worshipper of the hunt who is using pack animals to carry all of his heavy-ass armor and weapons.
Might be a little bit strange. Yeah.
Are you sure you don't worship the god of war? Because that's where it looks like you're going.
Yes, those infamous war goats. Feared throughout the land for their stubbornness to move army supplies. Many armies have perished at the hands of them.
2d8. Okay, goat HP is 6. It's not so hot. Twice 9, unfortunately, but what's the movement rate on a goat?
12.
12. Okay. And as a human, my movement rate is 10, if I'm not mistaken.
12.
12. Okay.
Yes, you are a goat.
Yes, human class cleric alignment. Let's go with something good aligned. I did get kicked out of my structure, so maybe chaotic good. Just trying to do the right thing. Not entirely sure of how to go about doing that. Where are we on gender in your world? Like,
What
as
do you
far
mean?
as perception of gender for like within like the religious order for gender roles and that sort of thing, or is it something that's
Pretty
sort of
equitable.
okay?
The gods here are very evenly divided between male and female, and there's not much of a, only men can do this thing in the
Okay.
in the ranks of clerics.
Do you care about handedness?
It's up to you.
Okay. The standard right-handed.
Yeah, you can pick it, or if you want to roll for ambidexterity, you can. It just if it comes into play, I'd like you to have decided ahead of time what your handedness is.
I will be right-handed. I'm thinking a female cleric human. Why did I leave the church? Why would I leave a comfy job? Just healing people and whatnot. Maybe I felt we weren't doing enough. Like there was I felt there was some apathy in the churches, and I was trying to like motivate change, and I was seen as like a trouble rousing type of person, someone who's going to shake things up too much, knock other people out of their comfortable little niches.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of shuffled off into perhaps some of the borderlands, sent on my way with the nicest of stuff to go help the plighted others.
Okay. So no enemies made. You're out because you want to do more good in the world.
Yeah.
This is not a chaotic evil halfling
No.
murder hobo. Okay.
Definitely not chaotic evil halfling murder hobo. Chaotic good on the side. Which I don't know if there are any chaotic good aligned gods that would be happy with the end.
There are many, actually.
Are there now? That's handy.
The goddess of beauty is chaotic good. The goddess of passion is chaotic good. Maybe those aren't the gods you're looking for.
Well,
Is
it could
that it?
very quickly turn into an interesting roleplay session.
I guess we only have two chaotic good gods, and they are both. No. Interesting.
See, I couldn't actually look up the pantheon of gods, which is something I wanted to do. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I didn't actually know that I just rolled a female character with low charisma into, oddly enough, the god of passion. Good times. Because passion can be taken for multiple things. I'm very passionate about helping people, is all.
Yeah. Your goddess's name is Reluna.
Reluna. How spelling?
Reluna.
All right, Reluna. Goddess Reluna. Subtitle or anything as such? Goddess
Subtitle?
Reluna, the goddess of
Passion.
Okay.
Yeah. She is the sister to Nerul, the goddess of love and family, although oftentimes at war with her, or at odds with her. Nerul, the other goddess, is thought to bring. Nerul thought bringing Reluna and Ephra, who is the goddess of art and inspiration, together would tame Reluna's wild swings, so she caused them to fall in love. Instead, Ephra slipped into Reluna's chaos. That's some weird god backstory. So Reluna and Ephra have a thing, I guess, and it makes them weird.
Everyone's got family issues.
Yeah.
Even the gods.
Yeah.
All right, character name. Oh Jesus, I need to come up. There we go, Alexandra. Chat. Good last names for someone with the first name Alexandra, who has a pet goat named Richmond. Go.
Alexandra and Richmond.
Goats' names are also being taken because I think Richmond's not 100% on Richmond.
Call her
Stop
Say.
talking about
The
my
goat
voice,
herder.
damn it. Give me goat names. Give me last names.
Shepherd works.
Alexander Shepherd.
Sausages. Desdoma. Boris. Daniel. Hippie. Come up with your own damn name.
This guy's voice with the goddess of passion. Come on. Red Bell. You know, I might take Rami, actually. Rami the goat. It's not entirely terrible. Going off Herder in the last guy to play Nerf Herder. Alexandra Nerf Herder.
Is that a class or a race? I'm not sure.
Alexandra Arnett. I like it.
Now, why don't we know Alexander the Great's last name? He's always just Alexander the Third of Macedon.
That's a good point.
Or Alexander the Great. But he doesn't have a last name.
Perhaps there's yet more family issues that have been covered up by the legends.
Perhaps. Or perhaps his last name literally just meant of Macedon. You know?
Well, Von Macedon.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, so don't need to worry about weapon proficiencies, secondary skills. Ooh, what are we doing there? I don't have a hot link to that immediately. Look at me. I have encumbrance, saving throws, weapons and armor, starting money even. But I do not have a link. Like, I bookmarked all of the pages that I needed, like, specifically for this. That I missed. I missed that secondary proficiency. God. Slacking.
Oh no. Missed one bookmark. That's points off right there.
I know, right?
God, I just
Never
missed
gonna
his
get in at this rate.
bookmarks. Not gonna.
Okay, let's take a look here. So what type of hinterlands are we looking at me getting shipped off to?
That's up to you. Where would you like to have been shipped off to for your backstory?
Um, let's. I like the idea of Taylor Weaver, although I'm not sure whether or not that's just my own internalized gender roles coming out there. I'm bad at being equal, okay? It's very internalized. But yeah, I do like the idea of a tailor from the city turned cleric.
Okay.
That makes sense, because clerics do need work, so it would make sense that there would be, some room for someone to move between occupations in that regard. If that is how there are no social castes, I imagine, or very rigid social castes,
Very
or
rigid.
very rigid. So if you
Yes.
were not a member of the clergy originally, it would be hard to move into.
No, the clergy is typically the one place where social castes break down.
Okay,
You have people from all
so
walks of
there's
life
mobility.
joining the
Yeah,
church. That's why
makes sense.
it's why people like to join the church, is because you don't have to be a shitty little peasant.
But you don't get paid them dollar bills, yo.
No, very very little
Right.
pay. Eternal salvation is nice, but
Yeah.
you know, you got to work something on the side if you want to keep your family and if you
So
want to keep
let's
girls on the
go.
side.
I don't know. Going with heavier robes. Let's go somewhere uh, cold and mountainy. We got somewhere like that might work.
Yeah. Cold and mountainy. Sure. Okay. Done. Are you all ready to go? Have you done everything?
Languages
Hmm.
are fun. I have two languages. That's going to be common, and then two languages, or
You can make an argument for either interpretation of the
yeah.
rules.
Personally, my understanding was you get the number that's written there.
That was my understanding, but the rules say those are additional languages, but then when it says zero languages, it says you
Yeah,
can't speak. So, kind of contradictory.
yeah.
Yeah.
You think the one was written, and then the chart was made, and then the chart was updated, and then the previous thing wasn't changed? That makes the most sense to me.
Probably. I mean, it's not one person writing these books, it's
Yeah,
groups of people
and editors and
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, this was quite a while ago. Maybe their standards were. I mean, it was only the second edition of AD&D. Not a lot of people played. I mean, people played, but it wasn't the thing that it was today. I could
yeah.
see them kind of skipping some stuff.
Let's see. What would make sense as a language? Do you have an idea for what the origin city from which I would be shipped off to said cold mountainous area? So large cities near that area, and then
Sure.
from there, what the demographic of said city would be, other than
Uh,
primarily human, I imagine.
yes, definitely primarily human. If you're in a city, you'll find other folks.
Hmm.
Usually dwarves are they're the second most common subrace.
Okay.
Um, and then halflings, and then half elves, and then gnomes, and then elves.
Okay.
Elves really don't like to mix around.
Hmm.
Their lives are so long that you go and hang out in a city for a couple of centuries, and all of a sudden, too much crazy shit's going on, too many wars, the prices
Yeah.
go up, landlords change, all your friends die. It's kind of a pain in the ass.
Although, if you were willing to make a killing on long-term investments,
Mm-hmm.
that could definitely be a
Definitely.
thing.
Yeah. You could play the corporate real estate investor elf who just goes into territory and buys up land and then like heads out for a while and comes back and All right, I'm gonna wait 20 years. Great, now I'm gonna turn it for a profit, and I can afford that chainmail.
All right, Neil, tell me what Tide's End looks like in 200 years.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go take a nap. You just lock in the lore for Tide's End and just tell me about it. Let's hope no player goes there and ruins something. Let's see. Common Dwarf. Languages, character portrait, not filling that out. Proficiencies, don't need to worry about that. Alrighty then. I think we are ready to set out on our glorious adventure.
Okay. So you are in a cold mountainous region. You're at the base of these foothills. Well, hold on. Before we continue this, give me a quick over of your background. Who?
Okay.
Yeah, let's do the whole thing. Where are you? Where do you come from?
So, growing up to a moderately well-off family, I took up work after my mother as a tailor in her shop. But, times as they were turned a little harder, and eventually she had to sell off the shop in order to, keep food on the table. It was a hard decision, but it was what needed to be done. And so with that, she was already old and needing care, and I not being able to provide that through my chosen occupation, had to take up work in the clergy such that I could, provide her with a space to stay alive. Our father had, or my father had gone off and died in some dumb war, because that's what big dumb men do. Bloody men. And so, yes, my mother passed away recently, and I've been pushing towards, change in the church and trying to help people more than what the church is. What would the Church of Passion actually be doing for people, just out of curiosity?
I mean, it's not like there's a large
Marriages,
institution there.
whatnot.
No, the god of love
Marriage
takes over that
counseling?
sort of thing. Passion clerics. Um, that's a good question. I guess you would find some questionable people that exist between clerics and prostitutes, possibly.
Okay.
You would also find clerics of passion. What are they into? I think they're just very interested in living life and kind of doing everything to its best and
Okay.
inspiring people with their enthusiasm to live big and to seize the day.
Okay. Seems really hard to get kicked out of that place for being too carpe diem.
Yeah.
Perhaps I was with the her sister, Goddess Nerul, the goddess of family, and I was like, no, but there's like so much more. Monogamy isn't for everyone. And they're like, all right, here's the door. Have a good day.
So you got kicked out of Nerul's church and you went over
And
to Raluna's.
yes, into the welcoming arms of her sister.
Okay.
So perhaps there are some enemies, some bad blood at the cosmic level.
Yeah, they never got along.
And yeah, since my like I imagine that they would have been like putting up with my shit right up until my mother passed, and they're like, we're gonna wait a respectable amount of time and then kick you the hell out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we pitied you for your sick dying mother and your love for her, and that family bond was nice. But as
Now
soon
that
as
it's
that's gone,
yeah. Okay.
I know it would make sense that perhaps I was, using my tailoring ability to make fineries for some of the ladies of the night.
Mm-hmm.
So, that could be how I found out about, the goddess of passion and what have you. And then, so yeah, I'm thinking my robes are actually quite nice. since I would have made them myself. So despite them being my starting clothing, which is totally free, because I'm just going to take that. Yeah. Quite nice robes. Let's go with vibrant.
So you were kicked out and then walked up this mountain of your own accord, or you were sent up this mountain to do something specific?
Perhaps rekindle an old fire deep in a mountain, or perhaps there was like a small church. I'm lacking my normal glossary of terms for religious groups. Let's see. Basically, just a small detachment of the church that has been fading, and I've been sent off to rekindle that, perhaps.
Okay. Rekindle the passions of people up in this mountain
It's a cold place, man.
who have become dull with the cold and the time.
Oh, what is it, Louis Armstrong? It's cold outside.
It is cold outside. Cool. So you're at the base of this mountain. It is your task to climb to the town about 1 day up. It's a long day, though. If you're not in the greatest of shape, it might take you 2 days because it's a trek. This town is pretty sweet, though. They have an adamantium mine here. So it's a valuable town. There's a bunch of carts that travel up and down the mountain from time to time, and occasionally they get harassed by people about. The town itself you've never seen, you've only heard of, you only know that they've got this mine up there. And I forget the name of the town. I have it written down in a book somewhere. But
are these carts traveling up and down on tracks?
no, they are pulled by beasts of burden. They don't travel very often, just like once a month to move supplies up and resources down.
Where would those carts last have stopped off on?
There's a town like a half mile, or not half mile, 3 or 4 miles away from the base of the mountain.
So would I have passed through that town and had an opportunity to ask about the last cart shipment?
Yes.
Okay. When would it have passed through, and could I possibly jump on an empty cart heading back up?
The last cart was 3 weeks ago. In theory, the next shipment of carts should be heading up the mountain in a week, and then they tend to come back down 2 days later.
Heading up the mountain on my own. That sounds like a good way to die. Despite having Rami the goat with me, I think I might just camp here for a week.
Okay.
Enjoy the local culture of this town, and then head on up with accoutrement.
Great. It's 3 silver per night for room and board at an inn.
Shit. Allow me to quickly check how much is left over after I switched out a goat for saddlebags.
If you just want the room and you don't want the food, it's 15 copper per night.
It would be
if you want to skimp and just like stay at a flop house, you can get away with like 8 copper a night. But then you're like in the flea-ridden. I mean, it's like a crack den, except you're not buying the crack.
I would actually be interested. So my intention would be to set out to find a lady of the night, actually.
Yes,
and
you quickly come across.
Find comfort with her in exchange for my tailoring skills in repairing any of her garments that might have been torn during her work.
It's going to be a hard sell. Her services usually render more profit than it would cost to tailor something.
Well, I was just looking to be a friend, you know.
Well,
hey, how's
everyone's
it going?
a friend until they get paid.
That's fair. but yeah, like I would just be thinking that it would be like a hey, I'm a friend of you, you and your type of people, without a better way of saying that. Um, and just being like, yeah, could I, call on a friend for some housing? I imagine that might be easier for you to accommodate than others. But I mean, I imagine she has more than one bed. Like, there would be the bed that she sleeps in, and then the bed that other people might sleep in with her.
I think you are overestimating the financial situation of the
Okay.
people driven into prostitution at this day and age.
Well, also so this is a small town, no full blown brothel. It would just be a one off or one or two off women.
Let's take a look. Yes,
I mean,
actually,
there
there
is an
is a
anarchy
brothel.
mine. There's a good amount of money, and this would be the first town that the miners would be going through.
There is indeed a brothel. It's a fairly sizable one, too, for such a town. It's
Oh,
a two-story building, nice columns in the front, a large balcony on the second floor, nice terrace on the bottom floor. Um, there's a bar, there's a whole setup here. Everyone kind of lives there and works out of there.
okay. So, what do I see when I walk through the doors with a confident stance almost to the point of people sometimes perceive it as arrogance? Good old Christmas 7.
Hmm. Well, first things first is a man comes over towards you, fairly well dressed. He's got a nice silken top hat with a black silken top hat with a red sash around it. He's got blue and green clothing with like red cuffs and trims all over the place. It's
Okay.
almost outlandish, but it's well done. The colors blend together nicely. He walks over towards you. You're wearing armor and everything else?
Yeah, I imagine I'd be wearing my vibrant robes peeking out underneath the well-polished armor. I'm somewhat concerned with my appearance.
He shows up and goes, "Well, you're not the type that we usually get around here. Typically miners and local folk, but we are happy to accommodate you,
Miss Alexandra.
Miss Alexandra. Lovely to meet you. We have all sorts of boys here for you. We have some girls, if that's your thing. What would you be interested in this fine evening?"
I'm actually looking to work. Oh, wait, no, that came out wrong. I'm a seamstress and a cleric of the goddess of passion. This is coming out wrong.
A armor wearing, weapon wielding seamstress slash cleric. And you want to
Perhaps we
work in
could
a
start
brothel?
this question.
Are you
Do you
willing to
have any
take your armor
guards that
off?
repair? Okay, that's just over the line, sir. Um, work as a seamstress.
Well, we don't need an in-house seamstress, but if
I
you do
just
good
feel like
work, we can be happy to send our
stuff would
garments over
fit
to you. This is really not the
back.
Here, come with me. He leads you out of the main hall where everyone's having a good time and drinking and
Okay.
flirting into a kind of dull back room. This kind of looks like a supply closet. And he says,
Okay.
all right, now we can speak frankly. What's going on here? You setting up
I,
shop in town? You're just coming by, peddling your
I'm just
wares?
passing through for. I'll be staying for a week until the cart comes through, or the empty carts. I imagine. I heard they were going to be only about a week out, and then they'll be going up the mountain, and I'd like to join them on my way to the town up there, mine.
Hmm.
And until then, I don't have a place to stay. So I was wondering if I could work for my keep here. Does that sound acceptable?
The only way you're sleeping here is if you're paying or being paid.
I step on his foot on my way out.
Okay. Let's see if he does not notice your holy symbol of Reluna. It must have been tucked away somewhere. You step
It
on
was
his
on my
foot.
shield that I sold. No.
Yeah. And you exit the building.
Hmm. So an actual inn that's not a...
A sweaty, nasty flop house full of fleas.
Yes.
Okay. You can get away
'Cause,
with
yes,
15 copper per night.
15 copper per night. All right. 15 copper. Wait, what? Really? Okay,
1.5
I'll take
silver?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I will have 3 gold and 15 copper. So, dropping one of those down to 10, drop that down to 9. And for 7, that would be minus 35. I have 15 minus 20. That leaves me with 80 copper. Good times. So I have 2 gold, 9 silver, and 80 copper at the end of this week. I will pay up in advance all 7 days. Although that's probably a mistake because the cart might be early. But I'll do it anyways.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to do in this town, or are you just chilling and eating your own rations?
How much would food be?
Another 15 copper a day.
Yeah, let's splurge for fresh food.
Okay.
45.
I should mention that at these rates, you're not getting steak. You're getting like oatmeal in the morning.
Good old gruel.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Maybe a little bit of soup and a chunk of bread.
Soup and stale bread. Delicious.
Can't get better than that. Cool. Let's see. Anything in particular happen? 3 17s and a 12. It's got to mean something.
Yeah, I was just to step out of the game for a moment. I was just DMing a game for of Stars Without Numbers. So failing forwards is a fun system to try and work with, where it's just like, okay, so this needs to cock up in an interesting way. How do I make that happen? But
Yeah.
yes.
Failing forwards? I'm unfamiliar with the term.
So when someone fails or gets a partial success on a skill roll, they get it. They're what they wanted, but they also get something that they didn't want.
Okay.
So you
comes with
to use their plans in fun ways and advance the story.
Interesting. All right, cool. So you're here for a week. It's mostly a chill week, actually a little bit of a boring week while you just wait for these carts to come around. On the last day, you hear that the carts are rumbling towards town. It's the typical news. Everyone's always talking about it. Messengers or people coming from the previous towns can spot the carts coming and chat about it. The day before the carts show up, a man comes down the mountain. His clothes are in tatters. He's got little cuts all over him. He looks half starved and bewildered, and he just kind of comes stumbling down into town. You happen to be not the first person towards him, but the inn that you're staying has a nice mountain view. So as you see him stumbling towards town from your room, that's kind of like the time that everyone else is spotting him. Just kind of stumbling down this mountain and towards town. Clearly not very good at walking anymore.
Okay. So this morning I would have prepared 2 casts of Cure Minor Wounds, and I'm just going to go with 3 because I haven't had a chance to look at the spell list, which I may be doing very shortly because that seems like something I might be wanting to do. And yeah, so if you'll allow me to have memorized spells, that is. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. And I would like to rush over and give him a helping hand of Cure Minor Wounds.
Okay. You rush to his side. He is really he's wiped. As you go over to him and start administering your healing spells towards him, he mumbles, "Mountaintop, goblins, They were in the mines, and it's just too much for him, and he collapses.
So is he perceptively injured?
Yes, he has
Okay.
lots of small injuries all over him. Some of these look like scrapes from. Hold on, whoops, there we go.
Running through underbrush?
Yeah, some of them looks like just brush or falling down a hill and getting like cut by rocks. There's no clear weapon wounds, although with goblins you never know. Some of these might be nail scratches or small arms.
Yeah. Sharpened rocks on the end of arrows.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, 1 cure light wounds will be spent to heal said man.
Give me a D8.
So action, 1d8. Cool.
He heals 1 HP and slowly comes back to consciousness. Most of his wounds are still open and bleeding.
Oh. You
Without the
Come on.
slash? There you go. All right. His wounds heal over. He blinks with surprise, looks about him, and goes, "Oh, thank you. I haven't seen a cleric of Martha in some time.
Martha.
Goddess of life and creation, kind of like you know, the big god that everyone digs."
No, my friend, you've been healed by the wellspring in all of us. The passion to live our lives one more day. Just a little bit greater than the last.
Oh, well, thank you, cleric of Luna. We have to tell the local noble. We got to go tell the town guard. There's goblins have attacked the mines up there. They came down in mass. They shut the gate. They closed the cage so that the mines are safe, but the town is just being thrashed.
Then I will be off as soon as I get you somewhere safe. Let's get you inside. It's cold. And then I will find the appropriate authorities. We shall rally and go defend the town.
When you look up, you guys are not alone. There are plenty of other people standing about, and the gossip spreads like wildfire. Some people run off to grab local authorities.
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, I start shouting for them to go gather said authorities on the off chance that they're just running to tell their friends.
What do you do with this man now?
Take him to the inn I was staying at, and drop. I'll just drop. Let's go with 15 copper on setting him up with room and food and getting him situated comfortably.
He seems a little antsy, like he doesn't want to hang around at an inn while his friends are dying.
Okay. How old is he, just out of curiosity?
Somewhere in his late 20s, but then again, maybe he's actually like early 20s and he's just been worked to death, so he looks older. He's still a fairly young person.
All right, so now that he's like being healed up, he's wanting to, he feels, so as I like say, like, let's get you to an inn, get you like somewhere to rest.
But I can't sit by idly while my friends are dying up there. I'm not much of a fighter. I'm just the cook in the tavern up there, but...
In that case... so, would I know anything of how the town would be going for its militia if it was to raise some?
The local lord has a small detachment of soldiers that just work year-round. He can also raise militia as he desires, or in a more immediate necessity, there are mercenaries that can be hired.
Okay.
That's usually the go-to for raids and stuff, isn't raising an army. It's You know, go to the local tavern. Like, all right, what adventure is around here that can go kill some goblins for us? Sort of thing.
Hey man, this is just one of me, and I ain't about that lifestyle. The
That's not how
lifestyle
you
gets
roll.
you killed rapidly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna grab him and be like, that's the right attitude. Now, all right, so I'm gonna immediately take him to the blacksmith. He has no weapons on him.
No weapons.
Armor of
Nope.
any variety.
He was basically a semi-naked man coming down the mountain. His clothes are pretty thrashed.
Okay, I'm gonna for 1 gold pick up a buckler, and for another gold, pick up a hand axe and hand it to him. Or point to a hand axe for a spear and ask him what you would prefer if he were to fight to save his
He
friends.
quickly points to the spear.
Okay. So yeah, definitely the spear. It's also cheaper, so that's handy. Alright, so he has himself a buckler and a spear. Subtracting some money. Okay. And we will be headed back out into the street with our new found weapons. Are there any obvious authorities milling about?
Yes, you can see the town sheriff as you're walking down the street.
Okay.
Is talking to 3 men at the doorway of an inn. They have some amount of weapons on them. It's like studded leather armor, short swords,
Okay.
not too much else. He seems to be negotiating prices with them, and they do not seem too interested in the task at hand.
Okay. Sorry, who was negotiating with the sheriff?
3 men with studded leather armor and short swords.
Okay.
They don't quite look. They don't look like soldiers, but they definitely look like people that travel overland quite a bit. They are armed and armored and have that, like, I walk around a lot look to them.
People who may adventure, one could say.
Possibly, or maybe they're just some sort of like merchants or loose bodyguards of sorts. They may not be full-fledged first-class characters.
Okay. It's good to know. Yeah, I would like to head over to them with my new friend. Actually, I should ask him his name first. I turn to him and I say, "Oh my God, my friend! I've completely forgotten myself. What is your name? How might I call you?"
I'm Bruno.
No.
What's your name?
My name is Alexandra. Alexandra Arnett.
All right, Alexandra. Are you sure you want to come up here? It's going to be dangerous. There's a lot of goblins.
I kind of like look down at myself in my armor. I'm just like, I think I will be okay.
All right. Well, it'll take us all day to get up there, so unless you have enough money for horses.
Unfortunately, the church is not that generous.
He grunts and begins to trek up the hill.
Okay. So I would like to head over to the negotiations and eavesdrop, if I can.
You hear one of the 3 men saying, "Look, Sheriff, it's not that we don't want to help you, and it's not that we don't want this money, because we really could use it. It's that the 3 of us, if we went up there, would die to those goblins. And honestly, I value my life more than I value your money. So I'm sorry, but unless you can round up a larger force, I can't go. It's not worth my life." Bruno has kind of moved on. He's glancing over his shoulder and turning around and waiting and like starting to walk backwards and giving you the like, "Let's go."
I call him over to me quickly.
He shakes his head and runs over.
Okay. And I kind of interject myself into their conversation and say, "Well, what if we were to join you, free of charge? We're simply here to see that the right thing is done this day."
And the sheriff says, "See, look at these people. They're trying to help out the town. They're trying to do what's right, not asking for all this gold like you. You guys are scabs. You're scavengers. You're just this side of pirates."
Oh, I'm sure they're not so bad once you get to know them. Everyone must be paid for their day's work, even if it's a hard day.
What about you? Says one of the other guys, who's not. You're not being paid for anything.
It is my quest in life to work for the betterment of others, and this is simply one way that I might be able to do that.
There's some grumbling, but eventually they say, all right, if these guys don't take any pay, then we'll go with them. And 5 of us. Hey, guy, how many goblins you say were up there? And the guy says, I don't know. There were a bunch. Some of them died. I don't know if they got into the keep or where the guards were. I fled as soon as I saw them. I saw maybe 2 dozen.
See, it's entirely possible they've all been slain by the guards by the time we get there. You should take your pay and be on our way before.
The guys go back and forth and go, all right, we'll go with you, but if it looks too dangerous, we're going to bail. Discretion's the better part of valor, right? Right? His friends go, yeah, totally. And the 5 of you head up the mountain. It'll take you the better part of the day to get up there. Those are not the right dice. These are the right dice. Okay.
So this is the day before the carts have come in.
Yes, carts arrive tomorrow.
Unfortunate. So yes, how far up the mountain do we make it before we get ambushed by goblins?
You make it all the way to the town, actually, before the ambush occurs.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
We don't have a chance to rest, get our spell slots back. All of our spell slots,
I mean, that would take a full day.
Bruno's the secret wizard, right? I mean, he needs to get that sleep spell charged.
He used it to escape, and now he's coming back.
Damn.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Unfortunate. So you guys pull into town. Not quite into town, but you come around the bend on the mountain face that leads in towards town. And the bend is there's a narrow trail along the mountain here. It's very precarious off to one side, and the other side is basically a sheer cliff. Okay. So this would be a great ambush spot if you could actually get up to the spot above you to ambush, but that would actually entail like scaling the cliff. And then coming back down's a bitch because it's like a 15-foot drop. So it's fairly ambush safe. But you come around this corner and look up the long road through town. It's a shanty town. It does not look very good. Where is our thing? The buildings are all kind of teetering and kind of broken. The ones closer down the mountainside seem to be in worse repair. The ones further up seem to be nicer. At the very back of this more or less straight road, actually it gives a bit of a curve. You probably can't see that far back. No, you don't see anything. You just see like all these buildings on either side of the road with the road that runs between them.
The buildings are primarily just hide stretched between wood, I imagine. That's the old shanty buildings.
Not a lot of hide up here. The mountain is fairly wooded down on the slower steps, so everything up here is just kind of wood. Everything.
Okay. So like a rough pine sort of, just like unfinished wood structures.
Yeah.
Little cabin sort of things.
Yeah. It looks. There are some houses that are built against the mountain, like with so the back wall would be the mountain itself.
Yeah.
And everything is very kind of hastily thrown together. Many of the doors are just sheets hanging down.
Do I know how long the town's been here?
It's been here a couple 100 years.
Okay.
It's been around a while. You know from your research before heading up here that the local lord actually has a fairly impressive stone house at the top with a nice wall around it to... it's supposed to be the keep in case something happens. Everyone can fall back into his manor. But according to Bruno, that's not exactly what happened. Goblins came, people fled, the mines got shut down. There's like a big cage around the front of the mines to lock down if something goes wrong, or if people if there's something inside or if there's something outside that shouldn't be. And he said that the cage got locked up real fast, and people started to flee up towards the local lord's house, and the doors were not open.
Okay.
Once there was a sound of goblins, he shut the gates.
So, lit fires, smoke pouring out of buildings, nothing like that, or what are we looking at here for a scene of chaos? This is
You're looking at some knocked over buildings and bodies in the streets, but
okay.
no sign of goblins.
Well, it's been 2 days. Hmm.
And it
I
is
guess.
late. The sun is going down.
Which side of the mountain are we on from the sun?
You are on the south side of the mountain, so you can see the sun setting.
So it's setting away from the mountains. Like, are we on? Yeah. So you said we were leading up to the mountains, so we went through foothills to get here. I imagine. Yeah.
The town was in the foothills, yeah.
Okay. So is the sun setting on the mountainside?
It's setting on the... If you're looking at the mountain with your back to the cliff, the sun is setting to your left. So it's kind of casting this light up the center path of town. And anything in between buildings is completely in shadow.
Okay, interesting. I was just wondering if the sun was setting behind a mountain or behind the foothills. Would be the only thing.
Behind the foothills, like, yeah.
Okay, so
You've got
longer
plenty of
times.
Yeah.
Might be cut off earlier. So it's actually quite late in the day, and we still have light, which is handy. Torches. I go to my lovely Rami the goat. Start passing out torches.
How many torches do you have?
I have 10 torches.
All right. Everyone gets a torch. Do you have flint and steel or anything like that?
I totally do have flint and steel.
Nice.
I came prepared.
Okay, so everyone gets a torch. You cannot use a torch and a shield in the same hand, so what's his name sets down his shield and picks up a torch.
I totally grabbed that shield and put it on my hip.
Okay. The five of you proceed into town. You are the only one with heavy armor, so you're the natural leader here.
Good times.
How would you like to proceed into town?
I don't know where the manor is. I don't. Okay. Bruno. My friend Bruno. Do you know where people may have sought refuge?
God, I would have gone into the noble house, but that shut down. I mean, there ain't nowhere to go. You could try climbing up or down the mountain, but he knocks his foot on the ground. Earth here is hard packed, sometimes rock. When we built the town, they had to bring dirt up in order to even out the ground in some places. There's not really anywhere to hide. It's not like there's a basement anywhere. I guess the inn's got a cellar, but if I were a goblin, that'd be the first place I'd look.
Well, let's hope the goblins are dumber than we think they are. So, I don't know, I guess we should just poke our heads into various buildings, just to get a lay of, like, whether or not people had a chance to just hide in their huts and were passed over. So just start searching house by house, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And just see if there's anyone alive or trying to go back about their lives.
Sure. The first few buildings you come across are just like knocked down and flattened, or the parts are ripped out. There's clearly nothing inside there, at least nothing living. You could, if you wanted to, pull apart the knocked over things, searching for bodies.
I don't think we're at counting the dead stage right now.
The tavern is one of the first few buildings. So after the first huts that you pass, you come to this tavern. It is on the cliff side of the road, and you step in to a kind of a bloodbath scene. There's maybe a half dozen bodies here. The ground is slick with blood. There's another 4 goblin bodies. The human bodies that you find here have gaping holes in them where spears were plunged through them. One of the goblins looks like its head has been bashed in on the bar itself. Another one looks like it's been choked to death. A third has a knife still stuck in his chest. And a fourth, now that you notice, is still alive. His chest is moving slowly, like he's got this shallow breathing. He's got a large laceration across his chest, just above his belly and below his sternum, that like just below the solar plexus. Seems to be alive. You don't see any other signs of human life here, but Bruno goes over back behind the bar to check the cellar.
Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to go over to said goblin and check if he's conscious.
He seems to be semi-conscious.
Okay.
Like if you shake him around, he kind of... but not quite like opening his eyes and carrying a conversation.
Okay. I would ask him if he understands common.
He does not.
Okay, good. Skull crushing time. That makes this easier. Good old Morningstar gets to play.
You destroy him. The goblin is no more.
Morningstar down on his skull.
You add more blood and brains to the slick floor. Bruno gets to the back and tries to open the cellar and shouts back, "The cellar's locked, guys. Hey, is anyone down there? Hello?"
This is a great sign. And I rush over and start shouting, "We're friends! Open up if you can hear us!"
The cellar door kind of shakes a little bit, and as it opens up, you see a face appear from below, and the back door to the inn crashes open, and a handful of goblins stream in, aroused by your shouts and cries. Roll for initiative, and we're going to have to make this fast. We started a little late, so we can run a little late, but we are just about at the end of here. We're just going to do group initiative, so give me a D10. Okay.
See whether or not I can
You
get
guys
myself
go
fast.
first.
We go first. All right. Dropping. Yeah, let's just rush in and mace a dude. I'm gonna mace a guy. Let's just. Give me 2 seconds. All right. Do I mace someone?
Hit, actually. Crit on the goblin. Give me another damage versus small, if you don't mind.
Do we crit, though? That's the question.
You do crit. Oh, you know what? Never mind. He's got 2 HP. It's fine.
Does critting exist, though?
Yes, it just does double damage. Extra damage for a die.
Interesting.
No fancy crit rules.
I could not find rules for critting in combat, so I will take it.
Really? I think it's in the player's handbook somewhere. No? Is that just a well, it's either in the player's handbook or the DMG. That I'm sure of. You crush the first goblin. The 3 guys come over towards the second. Hit, crit, and miss. Wow. Fantastic.
I will take all of that. And they have short swords, though.
They do. The crit is an 11. That kills the goblin. The hit is a 6. Holy crap. Does not quite kill a goblin.
What? That is one tough goblin.
Yeah, max HP. While Bruno swirls about from his place by the cellar and charges at one, spear in hand. Yes, he runs through the wounded goblin, dropping him to the ground. That means 3 goblins down.
Okay.
3 goblins down. The remaining 4 are still bloodthirsty. You can see that they haven't washed yet, or maybe there's no water up here to wash, but they are still covered in blood from the previous day's affairs, and they are yelling and angry. Bruno gets counter-critted and takes 7 and drops to the ground unconscious, possibly dead. You're not sure. One of the guys in studded leather gets stabbed by the spear for 2. But he is still alive. The other two goblins come up and try and batter you down, but their blows rain on your armor to no avail.
That good old AC.
Initiative.
Initiative. Right.
You guys go first.
All right. Let's see if I crush the dude.
You do. Give me an extra damage roll. Wow.
I would love
You are really knocking it around here.
Slash on. And it's 2d4, not 2d6. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, you do end up killing one. Bruno's down. The three other guys miss, and miss.
Ooh.
With their short swords. It's worth noting these goblins have leather armor on. The three remaining ones fan out. They're jabbering at each other. One of them starts to back out through the door that he burst into, and the other two get their weapons up, and they've kind of slightly fanned out a little bit, but they hold their ground and do not attack. We roll initiative for next round.
Okay. Damn.
Okay. The goblins do not make any moves. It is your turn. They just hold their position in the inn, while the one that retreated vanishes through the back door. Or vanished through the back door last round. This round, God knows where he is.
Can I step between the two goblins and attack one, such that I provoke both attacks upon myself?
Yes.
Okay. I'll do that, and that is my roll for attack. Should I be still alive at the end of this?
Okay. 18 is a hit, I believe, against you.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate.
You take 5 points of damage.
And I'm dead.
Darkness closes in on you as a goblin short sword drives in between your splint mail armor and your back. The last thing you see as blood runs through your eyes and your head hits the floor are the three guys with short swords who rip the two remaining goblins to pieces. You have a fading image of maybe I'll be okay. These guys definitely got these two last goblins. And we will not find out if you are okay or not okay, although it's certainly possible.
Well, I mean, I did hit most of dead, right?
Yeah, those guys... Well,
okay, so there might be a healer here. All right.
Who knows? The local lord does keep a church in his place for people to come and pray to. Maybe he's got a cleric on hand? Who knows?
Hopefully in that cellar, like one round away from me.
Yeah, maybe. So that is...
Now I get to play as the goat?
No, you don't get to play as the goat. That is that. So, yeah, thank you for coming on and doing this audition with us. We actually have another one, like right now. We're starting late for that one too. Yeah. This is all my fault, of course. I woke up way too late today. Do you have anything you'd like to say before we depart, Mr. Well-Dressed Gamer?
It has been tons of fun. I appreciate this opportunity. And even if I don't make it onto the final show, this has been more than enough. It has been nothing but a pleasure.
Pleasure has been all mine. I hope we get to play again sometime in the future. And
well, you are the one who can do that.
I can, but there are still so many people left to investigate.
There are
a lot. So that's it for now. If you guys stick around, we will be doing another one right about in the next few minutes. So take care, everybody, and see you later. Bye-bye.